everyone. My name is Nancy. I'm your marketing technology specialist, and today I'm going to show you SkySlope hacks you wish you knew earlier. SkySlope is made to make your life easy, and it's also made so that you don't ever have to download and upload things into your checklist for DigiSign or anything like that. So I'm going to show you a few tricks to be as efficient as possible. So I have here a mock transaction file where I am acting as the seller's agent. So I'm representing the seller. And as you can see, I have an offer submitted already or accepted, and I've got my listing documents. The first thing I want you to notice is when admin is leaving you comments here to communicate a contradiction or a missing initial or signature or whatnot, a lot of people want to type in here a response in order to communicate with admin. So I might say, getting that fixed today, or whatever it is you need to communicate. And then you want to save it. Admin does not see anything that you are submitting and saving in this comment section. The best way to communicate with admin is usually you'll see reviewer and you will see who is looking at your transaction. You can email them directly with the email address provided. You can also take a look at the log and view who is adding comments here, and you'll see who right there. So I can email Kenzie because Kenzie is the one who is reviewing my checklist. Another option, which is also a very efficient way to do it, is by submitting in a help desk ticket. So when I go to the Allen Tate help desk and I click on new ticket and then I'll click support request, then one of the request types is transaction questions towards the bottom, right? Not that one, right here. And then for the subject line, I want to add in the address of the property. And then I can communicate with them in the description. Don't worry about ETC, that is for staff and employees. And you can also send a copy of this to someone else. If anyone needs to have that information, you can attach files and create it, and they'll email you back or they'll comment on the checklist. So that's the best way to communicate with admin. Next thing I want to show you guys is how to split a page and make a correction so that you don't have to send all of your documents all over again if there is a correction that you need to make. So let's say that I need to make a correction on page 3 of the residential property disclosure form. When you are adding documents to DigiSign and you get them back fully executed through e-signature, they're going to be dropped here in the Documents tab. And I can split the pages here and make a correction all on one page without needing to download and upload anything separately. So this is synced over from DigiSign, and I'll hover over the eyeball and I'll see that this is the RPodes that I need to correct. So what I can do is just hover over the document I need to split and click split. Once I click split, it might try to auto split and add more rows here of pages it's trying to split, but I can delete them. There will be an X on the right that I can click and it will just delete those rows so I'm not splitting randomly. As I scroll down, this number will change. So I'm on the second page. Now I'm on the third page. Let's correct the fourth page actually. So I need page 4. On the left, I want to rename that page. And I like to name things pretty literally so I know exactly what it is that I'm doing. Just like this. And see, it tried to add another row. I don't need that. I need to split off page 4 only. I don't need 4, 5, and 6. I just need page 4. And I don't want to assign it to a checklist item just yet because I need to make a correction on it. I just need to split it. So now I'm going to click split and I can go back to documents. Now back in documents, I'll see that this is the split page that I just did, corrected page 4. I can hover over it or click on the eyeball just to review that that's the correct one. Yep, it is the one that I need. So now I can check that page and go right over here to DigiSign. Now, this next page is going to ask me, do I want to add in more forms? I can do so at this point. Otherwise, then I've got the RPods page 4 selected to edit. That's all I need, one document added, and it's the one I chose. Then I can click next. Now this is going to ask me who needs to sign, this correction or this page. At this point, the seller might need to sign, or whoever it is you want or needs to can sign it. So just select who the signer is going to be. So in this scenario, the seller is the one who needs to make a correction or sign the correction. So I have checked him, and then he is going to come over here on the right as who signs first. You can add anybody else to receive a copy. I'm going to click next now. And this is a more familiar page. This is DigiSign. This is where I can make my correction, add an initial and a date box, and send it off for his signature. So all I need to do is maybe I need to strike this out right here. I can change it to red. I'm going to turn this function off now. And then I can add a spot or a signing block for his initial and a signing block for the date. That's all I need to do. I'm going to move this out of the way. So I've made my correction, and let's finish this correction by selecting the checkbox right here. On the left, I can have it read only, so that's going to bring his attention to this checkbox. And then I'm going to have it be checked by default. So I've made the correction that I need to make. You can make corrections with text, a strikeout, you can add a signature, an initial if it was missing, a date, all that good stuff. So now I've made the correction. I can click send. There is an AI message by default. I can change it. And then send it for signatures. And then click I'm done. So now I am acting as a seller. I, as a seller, need to initial and finalize this correction. As a seller, I am agreeing. I'm going to click start. Again, this was checked by default. Initial, choose their font, use the signature, and finish signing. Great. Now, as the agent, you can go back into your Documents tab and you will see that now there is a new file in here. This is the corrected page 4 of RPods, DigiSign. This right here indicates that this is the fully executed corrected page, and I can preview it. And there it is. This is the page that I needed. Now all I need to do is assign the corrected page, click assign, and add it to the residential property disclosures checklist item. I'll click assign. So now if I go over to the checklist, I can see that on the residential property disclosures checklist item, I'll click on the paperclip, and now there are my corrected pages. I did this one earlier as a demo. Here is the new one that I made. So I've got the original document and my corrected pages. Perfect. Now I've made the correction and I am good to go. I've covered all my bases. Thank you guys for watching this part. We are going to move on to the next part. So here's another scenario. Let's say that I sent a document out for signatures and I'm realizing that my client didn't receive it. It bounced. So I must have made a mistake. Maybe I wrote down the wrong email address when I was creating my file. So I'd go to envelopes and I see that I sent this envelope and this is the one that they're not receiving. They didn't get it. They don't see it. What I can do is click on the three dots at the end of the envelope and click remind and resend. When I click this, you'll see who are the recipients, and there's a little edit marker. See, my last name is spelled wrong, so I'm not receiving it. I can click on the edit marker and I can make the correction to the email right here and then send reminder. And then I'm done and they're going to receive it now. So if that is the scenario, then the next place you want to correct that email for future envelopes is going to be in file details. So I'll come to file details and I'll scroll down to contacts and I'll see that the seller has the wrong email address spelled out here. I can click edit and make a correction to the spelling of this email address and now save, and for future envelopes that I send out, it's going to be sent to the correct email address. You are welcome. I know I just blew your mind. Now I have another scenario for you. Let's say that I am ready to send out the exclusive right to sell listing agreement to my sellers who are a couple. And I've filled in all of this stuff and I'm ready to prepare for signatures. I'm going to click prepare signature, and a lot of people like to gloss over this section right here. Pay attention because you want to rename the envelope. If you do not rename the envelope, then all of your envelopes are going to be called 3537 Sweet Gum Road or whatever your file name is. And then you won't know what is in each envelope at a glance. You'll have to reopen and reopen and reopen all of them until you find what you're looking for to double check that it was signed. So I want to rename it either an abbreviated form, or if it is multiple documents like the disclosures, I can name it disclosures, or I can name it listing packet, and that would include working with real estate agents disclosure, exclusive right to sell listing agreement, the MOG, RPOs, and whatnot. This is just the exclusive right to sell listing agreement, and I can call it just that. There we go. So that's another tip for you. Let's go next. Let's say that I want the husband to receive this document first and then the wife to receive it after him. So what I'm going to do is over here on the left, you'll see recipients. I want to click on the three dots and click edit recipients. By default, everyone is going to receive this document at the same time, and it doesn't matter who signs first or who opens it first. This is the default. If I want to have, again, the husband sign first and then the wife sign second, what I can do is add a signer group and drag the wife down. I can even drag the husband down and have myself sign first and then the seller and the seller's wife, another seller, sign second. Or maybe something else makes more sense. Maybe I, as the agent, sign second and they too can sign first. That way I know that once I've gotten it, they've signed it. Um, I wouldn't recommend that though. I think it's okay just to have everyone sign at the same time and for you as the agent to sign the document if necessary as soon as possible, as soon as you send it. That way, when your sellers or your clients finish signing an envelope, you just get it back automatically. So you can add a different signing group. Let's just have it arranged like this. We'll save. So now you have two signing groups. Another tip for forms, this page right here, which is actually DigiSign, my bad, the text field functions. So if you will notice, this middle part of the cursor that I'm waving around right here, that middle section of the cross is the bottom left corner of the signing block, just like that. So if I click on text field and then I click on the line, let me get to a more clear line. If I click on a line right at the beginning, it is going to place that text box perfectly on the line. That way I'm not overlapping it on any words. And as far as using the text field function, I want to make sure that I finish typing out everything I need to say before I start changing the size of the text box. And you'll see what I mean. So as I am typing, the text box is not moving, but my words are overlapping and they're becoming smaller because it's too many words for this size of a text box. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Just finish typing what you need to say first. So I finished typing what I need to say. I can exit out of the editing block and I'm going to turn the text field function off. So now this is the best time to adjust the sizing. I can click on the text box and stretch the text box out so that my words are all on one line or however it is I need to fit it. If I hold on to the top right corner and then move it up, that can also change the sizing of the words. And as I change the sizing, then I need to change the length as well, a little bit more than that. There we go. Now I can move this text exactly where I need it to be placed. Just like that. You are welcome. Now, next tip, and we can look at this. Okay, this is the next tip. Sorry about that. So, when you have pages like this, page 2 of 7 and page 4 of 7, these have multiple options. All of these options will display as optional for your client, for your seller specifically on the exclusive right to sell listing agreement. Typically, you're going to send this form out after you have already had the conversation with your client and they have decided that they are going to allow public marketing or an office exclusive. Usually, when you're sending this document, that aspect of the listing is not up in the air for them to think on. That's usually something that is decided pretty quickly, unless whatever. So, I know that my seller wants public marketing. They want it on the MLS, they want it everywhere. And I know that they're not going to choose Office exclusive. But as a seller, maybe they're not tech savvy, maybe they don't have a computer and they're only working off of their phone and they have trouble seeing the words, or if the page is, a little bit off and they need to zoom in and zoom out, there is a lot of room for error. So they could potentially accidentally click on the wrong initial, and then guess what? They can't undo it. And you can't undo it for them either. They will have to start over. Either you will need to make a correction or they will need to just sign all of these pages all over again because you'll need to send it to them again. The best way to avoid those kinds of mistakes is, first of all, know what your client is going to choose. Are they going to do public marketing or office exclusive? My clients are going with public marketing. So I want to eliminate the possibility for error that they will click office exclusive. To do that, I'm going to delete these initials and make these public marketing initials required initials. So I'm going to collect this one and click delete. And then I'm going to select this one and click delete. So that removes that removes room for error as far as them accidentally clicking office exclusive. But I'm not done yet because these are still going to show up as optional. To make them required, I can click on the initial and then over on the left, deselect optional field. Same thing for the wife. Select her initial, deselect optional field. And now these are going to be required initials and these won't appear. Again, this is only if I know that they are going to choose public marketing. And then that is pretty similar to the situation down here. All of these are optional. Decide with your client. They're going to tell you and make a decision on whether they're going to allow you to act as a dual agent or not. And then that correlates to these questions down at the bottom. Delete what you don't need and make what you do need required. That's going to save you a lot of time. So, that is the last thing that I had for you. If there is anything that I can help you with, or if you need one on one training on SkySlope, let me know and I'll be happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.